rise to welcome our honorable guest.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Inauguration Ceremony of the Law Association, session 2022 to 2023. We are the Masters of Ceremonies this evening. I'm Bowie Tang.
I'm Haley Yu.
The Law Association was founded in 1969 and is stepping into its 53rd year of operation. The association aims to unite both past and present law students and works to promote their general welfare. It also dedicates itself to promoting law students' interest in serving the community and representing law students both locally and internationally.
Being the only student organizations that represent all law students in the University of Hong Kong, the Law Association pledges to uphold their motto, Via Justitia, let justice be done, in all its endeavors. Now, let us enjoy an introductory video of the incoming Executive Committee of the Law Association.
May we now welcome the entrance of the new cabinet.
The Inauguration Ceremony marks the official commencement of the new cabinet's term of office. We are delighted to have amongst us distinguished guests from the Faculty of Law and the legal profession, as well as students representatives from various student organizations. We are glad to have all of you joining us tonight to witness the inauguration of this year's Executive Committee.
Now, may we have the honor of inviting Professor Charlotte Allen, Acting Dean of the Faculty of Law of the University of Hong Kong, to give the opening address. Professor Allen, please.
Thank you so much, and good evening to the Law Association and to our honored guests. It was really great. I was just sitting next to my colleague and we were saying how wonderful it was to see our faces on the video. We don't get to see the whole face these days. So that was a very beautiful video you prepared. Thank you. So it's a great pleasure to join your inauguration ceremony on this theme of Molita, resilience. And I'm very happy to convey the good wishes of our Dean of Law, Professor Fu Hualing, who sends his best wishes to all of you. As he's mentioned to you and in his notes, I will just convey some of his thoughts about your role as law students. He says, as law students, you're current and future guardians of the rule of law in Hong Kong. Maintaining our commitment to basic legal principles has today become a more meaningful and more powerful project than ever. And so he also shares some of his thoughts in the program, and I hope you'll have a chance to read through those on the theme of resilience. I'll just add a few additional thoughts on this theme that you've chosen, which is Molita. So as I understand, your cabinet aspires to equip yourself with the ability to be resilient amidst obstacles and challenges, so as to guide your members to brighter ends and uphold the spirit of the association, which is fiat justitia, let justice be done, as you mentioned in your video. So as we all know, in life, we face numerous obstacles and challenges, and this is very natural, it's a very normal part of life. Most recently, I think we're all very familiar with this global pandemic that we are all continuing to live through, and which has definitely tested all corners and sectors of society. And as you suggest, the important question is how to view, how to address these challenges when we find ourselves faced with them. And how do we face them constructively? So I'd like to share a passage that's helped me in my understanding of the nature of these challenges, the nature of tests. It says that the more difficulties one sees in the world, the more perfect one becomes. The more you plow and dig the ground, the more fertile it becomes. The more you cut the branches of a tree, the higher and stronger it grows. The more you put the gold into the fire, the purer it becomes. Therefore, the more sorrows one sees in the world, the more perfect one becomes. The more often the captain of a ship is in the tempest and difficult sailing, the greater his knowledge becomes. Therefore, I'm happy that you have had great tribulations and difficulties. Strange it is that I love you, and still I am happy that you have sorrows. This was written by Abdu'l-Baha in the early 1900s, when the world was just about to engage in this terrible world war. But he was encouraging and also offering an insight into how we deal with challenges, which continue to be the source of our development and our growth. So as law students, you have an important role to play in advancing our society. And you've already demonstrated that in the aspirations of your law association and the many services that you've already performed. I've had a great chance over the evening to hear of some of your projects and the public engagement that you're engaged in on animal welfare and also in legal knowledge in the public. So as I understand this time of your life, which you are now, is this period of life, this period of young adulthood, has been described as a choicest time of life. It's when you're preparing for a future of yourself in relation to society and how you can benefit society. Your adaptability, your resilience in the face of challenges, your vitality and enthusiasm puts you in a unique position to contribute to human betterment. Many of these constructive principles that underlie what the services that you've described reflect this aim of justice that you're pursuing. And as you've mentioned, some of the examples earlier, both in this cabinet but also in the wider school community, you've been providing legal aid, legal advice to individuals who need it, developing tools to assist individuals navigate their legal relationships and tenancy, and also addressing elder care employment issues through the legal clinics. So all of this shows a spirit of resilience and a spirit of service, which is highly commendable. And not only in law school, you are demonstrating this, but after you graduate, we are so proud to see all the fruits of the labors of your studies bear fruit into the wider society. As you're working with various organizations, both public and private, working for various judicial institutions within Hong Kong and helping in their development. So as a law association, the last thing I will say is that you are standing in a unique position because you are like the beacon for your fellow students. And you have an important role to play in offering and imparting hope to your colleagues, your students, your classmates. And just like a gardener who is tending to a seed, without any sense of hope or vision for its future, we wouldn't take the time to water it. And without that water, we wouldn't see the fruits. And when you're offering that hope to your fellow classmates at their exam time with your super pass and the welfare package you make, you are offering also a sense of hope and encouragement. And so again, without that vision of hope, it's very difficult to make the sacrifices needed to succeed in your law studies. And it's so wonderful to see that you are taking that seriously, that sense of offering and imparting encouragement to your fellow colleagues. So I'll leave you with this passage on this theme of hope. It says, "Lift up your hearts above the present and look with eyes of faith into the future. Today the seed is sown, the grain falls upon the earth, but behold, the day will come when it shall rise to a glorious tree, and the branches thereof shall be laden with fruit." So I leave you with that, and I wish you all the best in your service on the Law Association. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Ali, and please remain on stage. We would like to take this opportunity to express our deepest gratitude towards Professor Ali for her immeasurable contribution to the faculty and to its students thus far.
The chairman of the association, Ms. Celeste Yik, will now present a souvenir to Professor Ali as a token of appreciation.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3.
Thank you, Professor Ali, once again.
Tonight, we are also honored to have Mr. Edward K.S. Chen, SC, who has served on numerous public bodies and committees, including as the Deputy High Court Judge for over 10 years and the Chairman of the Hong Kong Bar Association. Mr. Chen, please.
Mr. Chairman, honorable guests, and members of the Law Association, ladies and gentlemen. I'm indeed honored to have been asked to address this grand gathering. I was told that the central theme for this association this year is Policia, excuse my pronunciation, which is a Latin word, of course. And I must say that I knew nothing about Latin. In the 50 years since I was a law student in the then Department of Law and the Faculty of Social Sciences and Law. And today, some 50 years afterwards, I'm still no wiser. My Latin has not improved. So faced with this word, what I did was that I then looked up the Google to try to find out its meaning. And I found Google told me that the word actually came from mollis. Again, excuse my pronunciation, because I pronounce them as if they were English, which means soft.
Or read half a dozen or a dozen group of newspapers. Nowadays, reliance on social media or specialized media outlets mean that communities are increasingly living together but apart, depending on which media you consume. The result can sometimes be referred to as silos or echo chambers effect. This in turn often leads to a divide between people, which is hard to cross, and perhaps less compassion and understanding between different groups of people. One of my high school friends, for example, subscribed to 2 different newspapers of almost opposite bents to try to have a more balanced view of things. The news diet, perhaps rather like food diet, is richer and more nutritious when it's more balanced and varied. The same goes with social interactions. Meeting and chatting with people of different ages, backgrounds, groups, enriches our minds and also softens our hearts. By listening more, we get to see more and understand more. I always look back at my university days not only as some of the happiest days, but also those days where we're able to meet really a whole lot of different people by luck and in different contexts. Once again, thank you very much for inviting me, and may I wish the Law Association and all of you every success. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Morley. Please remain on stage, as we would like to, please remain on stage as the chairman of the association, Mr. Lefty, will now present his souvenir. Ms. Yik, please.
Ready? 3, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Tonight, we are also delighted to have Mr. Christopher Yu, Vice President of the Law Society of Hong Kong. Mr. Yu is experienced in private equity and Hong Kong capital market transactions. He regularly advises private equity clients and Hong Kong listed companies on strategic investment in and outside of Hong Kong and China. He represents clients in cross-border mergers and acquisitions, as well as a broad range of other corporate transactions. May we now invite Mr. Yu to share his experiences with us. Mr. Yu, please.
Executive committee members, Professor Ali, Vice Chair of the Hong Kong Bar Association, Mr. Chan, fellow practitioners, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very honored to be invited to this inauguration ceremony. I've been asked to speak a few words of the piece, Molita, which I understand is translated as resilience in English. Through resilience, the Cabinet hopes to encourage fellow law students to overcome challenges and obstacles, leading to a brighter future with the cause of justice being upheld. The American Psychological Association defines, interestingly, resilience as the process and the outcome of successfully adapting to the difficult or challenging experiences, especially through mental, emotional, and behavioral flexibility and adjustment to external and internal demands. Having been in practice as a solicitor and involved in public services for over 20 years, I can testify that resilience is indeed one of the prerequisite lawyering skills for success and sustainability in the legal industry. Resilience can be acquired in many ways. I will focus on those which are relevant to the legal practice. First and foremost, legal practitioners can acquire resilience through constantly updating their legal knowledge and skills. The Hong Kong SAR, as an international financial and dispute resolution center, behooves a pool of highly competitive legal services providers that lead international standards. It's not only imperative that legal practitioners possess competent, updated legal knowledges, analytical, problem-solving, interpersonal communication skills, attributes of common sense, independent critical thinking, and strong business acumen to meet the ever-changing demands of the consumers of legal services. Secondly, legal practitioners acquire resilience through keeping abreast of the developments in the legal industry. The legal industry is changing at an exceptional rate. The more cognizant legal practitioners of these developments, the more capable we will be to adapt to any changes arising from them. Some of the notable recent developments are the Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau GBA development plan, the GBA legal professional exams, and the newly promulgated plan for the comprehensive deepening reform and opening up of the Shanghai, Shenzhen, Hong Kong modern service industry cooperation zone. These developments present immense opportunities for the provision of legal services over a wide spectrum of practice areas, such as international cross-jurisdictional dispute resolution, technology, infrastructure, finance, debt restructuring, and intellectual property. Whilst only solicitors with 5 years or more post-qualification practice experience are eligible to sit the GBA exam, law students can get a head start in capitalizing on these opportunities by familiarizing themselves with the Chinese legal system, Chinese substantive law, and by honing their advocacy and drafting skills in Chinese. Other notable developments involves the transformation of legal services through law tech and the digitization of court processes. It is no longer sufficient to update our legal knowledge and skills. The legal practitioners must have an understanding of technology such as blockchain and AI in order to optimize their use and to hedge against the risks arising from the use of them. Thirdly, resilience can be fostered through collegiality and solidarity. The Law Society of Hong Kong is a professional association for solicitors. Some of the supports and services we provide to our members, including student members, are opportunities for networking with senior members of the profession and wider international legal community. There are sponsorships for attending international conferences, exchange programs, study trips, access to legal updates, sports and recreation activities, and even a study and mentoring system. Last but not least, resilience can be achieved through adherence to the fundamental core values which underpin and sustain the legal profession over the years. These core values include respect compliance with professional ethics, and maintenance of the highest standards. The rule of law is pivotal to the stability of a society, and without stability, a society will not be able to preserve, persevere, and sustain growth. As an officer of the court, a legal practitioner must set an example as the upholder and defender of the rule of law, both in his practice and as a member of an honorable profession. I sincerely hope the future leaders of our profession, our students here, will develop the traits of resilience even before the commencement of your legal career, and be able to withstand the challenges in your career in the future, to reap sustainable benefits arising from them, and to have a fruitful career. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Yu, for your meaningful sharing. Please remain on stage as the chairman of the association, Ms. Celeste Yek, will now present a souvenir. Ms. Yek, please.
Once again, thank you, Professor Ali, Mr. Chan, Mr. Malay, Mr. Yu, and Ms. Yik. The inauguration ceremony would not have been successful without all guests present here tonight, just as the Law Association would not have been a well-established organization as it is today without the continuous contributions from its predecessors. As a result of their arduous efforts, the previous sessions of the association have established and upheld a set of proud traditions upon which the new cabinet would continue to inherit along with their new contributions.
May we now invite Ms. Huang Wenning Amanda, Chairman of the Law Association, session 2021 to 2022, to come on stage and share with us her experiences from her term of office. Ms. Huang, please.
Good evening. Mr. Chen SC, Mr. Morley SC, Mr. Yu, Professor Shali, honorable guests, fellow members of the association, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to deliver this outgoing speech in the capacity of the past chairman of the Law Association. Under the pandemic, I'm glad that we have the presence of all honorable guests here tonight to join us in this momentous occasion. Tonight, my successor have chosen the theme, militia. It is about resilience, hope, and serenity. We often talk about holding on the hope in the darkest and toughest time, but it is easier said than done. As law students, we see the weight carrying on our shoulder about how we should utilize the legal knowledge that we have and contribute to the society. But it's often hard as we eventually find ourselves in a place where we might be powerless to make changes or with the limited power to defend our rights. Back to the theme tonight. It is not merely about another message of uplifting abstractions. Carrying resilience, hope, and serenity might be tough on your own, but it is a little less challenging when you know there are people walking alongside. We look around the community for people with the same belief, who are still working in their best capacity to achieve what they believe in. How could we possibly walk away or step back knowing that there are still people safeguarding, and when we still have the power in our hands, however small? For the association, we have the far-reaching impact on the greater society and on the law students, about how we strive to safeguard the fundamental maxim via justitia will determine how the general public perceives the position of law students nowadays. Looking back to the past year we had, we start to rethink a lot about what it means to be a student organization, to people and a greater society. especially being the representatives of law students. The role of a student organization, with its power directly authorized by students, is irreplaceable. The association must continue to work for students and the greater society to prove its unique position. We are here to represent, at the same time we lead. We are here together, at the same time we unite. We are here to inspire and reignite the hope that will be inherited. We are so much more than our name, as we represent our valued Fiat Justitia. As my speech is drawn to a close, I'd like to express my most sincere gratitude to each and every one of you here tonight for being extremely supportive to the association, and we hope to have your continuous support. The time has come for my successor to think about how the association should position himself under the context and lead the association through the tumultuous times ahead. My sincere blessing go to the incoming executive committee members for their service. May the hope, resilience, and serenity remain in all of our hearts as the custodians of justice. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Huang. We hope that your successors would learn from your sharing and find their coming term of office as valuable and memorable as yours. Please remain on stage as the chairman of the association, Ms. Celeste Yik, will now present a souvenir to Ms. Huang. Ms. Yik, please.
Please remain on stage for the handover of the association flag.
The handover of the association flag signified the official change of office of the Law Association. Ms. Huang Wenning Amanda will now present the flag to Ms. Yik Yu Chin Celeste.
Congratulations to the new cabinet. Thank you, Ms. Huang.
The chairman of the Law Association, session 2022 to 2023, Ms. Yik Yu Chin Celeste, will now deliver her inaugural address. Ms. Yik, please.
Good evening, Mr. Chen SC, Mr. Moreland SC, Mr. Yu, Professor Ali, honorable guests, fellow members of the association, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Lucidus, the 53rd Cabinet of the Law Association, I would like to express my warmest welcome to you all for attending our inauguration ceremony tonight. Militia, as the theme of our ceremony tonight, stands for resilience in Latin. Our cabinet aspires to equip ourselves with the ability to stay resilient amidst obstacles and challenges in this turbulent era full of uncertainties and changes. Experiencing a long period of social unrest, our society has entered a time of fear and oppression, when people are afraid of expressing their own opinion. People are uncertain about the safety or legal risks possibly brought by their words or actions, even if it is just giving voice to the values they believe in. People are afraid of speaking up for themselves, sacrificing the voice they own, and censoring themselves. Yet, a society cannot truly develop diversity without diversity. It is only through challenging and questioning our society can incubate diversity and evolve. However, as we can see in our society now, people are afraid to hold their own stance and opinion. The space for us to express ourselves is fading day by day. and we are coming to realize that we're slowly becoming the bird trapped in a cage. Untouchable boundary has been placed in every part of our lives, placing unseeable constraints every second when we try to voice what we believe in. Via justitia brua silum. Let there be justice though the heavens fall. People always mistaken the law itself as justice. In fact, its mere establishment does not deliver justice. It only cultivates a path to lead us to it. Without people's effort to safeguard it, it would not be delivered. We, as custodians of justice, have the compelling obligation to speak up against the injustice we witness for the law to deliver justice. In dark times like now, we might feel constrained and helpless, that sometimes we might even give up to try. However, it is our duty to never surrender and never forget to give up, forget to protect the values we believe in. Apart from ourselves, it is also important to let the society realize that the law is a tool to protect one's rights, and we shall never be a privilege to certain parties or classes. Everyone is equal before the law, and we all own the legal rights to protect ourselves. Hence, our cabinet endeavors to promote legal knowledge to the community, making the public realize that the law is a tool to protect ourselves, and access to the law is a right owned by everyone. Not only do we wish to bring positive influence to the community, we also wish to encourage law students effectively equip their legal knowledge to fulfill their social responsibility. Justice cannot be delivered without our collective contribution and effort. Only when this comes to realization of our community, we can effectively use the law to empower ourselves, that we are able to fight against the injustice we face. It's always darkest before dawn. However, with boldness, aspiration, and resilience, with the strength to never give up, with the strength to protect what we believe in firmly, we will surely reach the end of this long dark tunnel and reach for the light. And the best is yet to come. Once again, thank you very much for joining us on this meaningful evening to witness our inauguration. And I wish you an enjoyable evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Monsieur. We wish the new cabinet the best of success under your leadership.
Now, the members of the Executive Committee of the Law Association, session 2022 to 2023, will join Ms. Yik on stage.
Proudly present the Executive Committee of the Law Association, session 2022 to 2023.
Chairman, Yik Yu Chin Celesta.
Internal Vice Chairman, Fong Wing Tan Kenneth.
External Vice Chairman, Tai Siu-Wing Jessica.
General Secretary, Chang Zi-Hei Daisy.
Treasurer, Wang Sum-Yi Sammy.
Social Convener, Lee Yu-Tung Asmi.
Journal Secretary, Young Chai Lam Alba.
Publication Secretary, Young Lok Young Chloe.
Sports Captain, Chan Si Tung Suki.
Legal Education Secretary, Lau Kit Yu Andrew.
Welfare Secretary, Yao Lok Kate Eric.
Marketing Secretary, Hong Su Ching Jess.
Publicity Secretary, Fong Man Yan Mian.
The 13 executive committee members will now take the oath of office.
We look at it.
Hereby solemnly swear that we will faithfully execute the office of the Law Association and will, to the best of my ability, preserve and defend the Constitution of the Association.
The executive committee members of the Law Association, session 2022 to 2023, will now sing the Law Anthem.
The Law Anthem is a song that all law students, both past and present, are familiar with. Both the music and the lyrics were composed by previous law students. Its timeless lyrics highlight the pride and unity shared amongst members of the faculty and the Law Association. You may find the lyrics on the second page of the ceremony booklet.
Now, please rise for the Law Anthem.
Please be seated.
We look forward to an eventful year from the new cabinet and wish them every success. Now, the executive committee would like to present to you their plan for the coming year. Please enjoy.
members, represented by the chairman, Ms. Yik, would like to take this opportunity to express their heartfelt gratitude to all guests who have taken the time to witness their inauguration. Thank you for making tonight's ceremony a memorable one.
Ms. Yik will now present souvenirs as tokens of appreciation to our honorable guests. May we please invite our honorable guests to come on stage.
Mr. Anson Wong, SC, President of the HKU Law Alumni Association. Mr. Wong, please.
Mr. Jeffrey Young, Chairperson of the Standing Committee on Young Barristers, Hong Kong Bar Association. Mr. Young, please.
Mr. Calvin K. Chang, Chairman of Young Solicitors Group. Mr. Chang, please.
Mr. William Ho, partner of Morgan Lewis and Bocas. Mr. Ho, please.
Ms. Joelle Lau, partner in charge of Jones Day Hong Kong. Ms. Lau, please.
Mr. Henry Yu, Principal Partner of Henry Yu and Associates in association with L&Y Law Office. Mr. Yu, please.
Mr. Tan Chen Sing, partner of H.Y. Leung and Company, LLP. Mr. Tan, please.
Mr. Foster Yin, Barrister at Law. Mr. Yin, please.
Ms. Yasmin Zahir, Barrister at Law. Ms. Zahir, please.
Mr. Jan Patrick Riemann, Head of Finance and Compliance of Ravenscroft and Shamir. Mr. Riemann, please.
Mr. Sin Yao Lun Allen, Solicitor of H.Y. Leung and Company, LLP. Mr. Sin, please.
Ms. Erica Xi, pupil barrister. Ms. Xi, please.
Mr. Bruno Brian Johnson, Marketing and Operations Executive of Ravenscroft and Shamir. Mr. Johnson, please.
Thank you, Ms. Yip.
Once again, we thank all the guests for attending the ceremony this evening.
The ceremony now comes to an end. We sincerely congratulate the Executive Committee of the Law Association, session 2022 to 2023, on their inauguration. And we hope that you had a pleasant evening.
Please rise as our honorable guests exit the hall.
Please be seated.